I got 10 o'clock straight up and down. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Saturday night. I got 10
night.
o'clock straight up and down. Hello, everybody.
I
Welcome
must
into
be
Saturday night. 10 o'clock
the
straight up and
echo.
down. Hello, everybody.
I am the echo. I was watching some stuff earlier today. Actually, I was acting. Yeah, I got it, Sam. I was watching some stuff about 45 minutes ago, as a matter of fact. Brian sent me a few things to check out, so I was doing that. Darren Gilholm was first, second, and third. Tony was second. John Lloyd Sr. was third. It says, happy Saturday. Been a horrible Saturday. Ghetto Fortnite was fourth. Greg was fifth. Making some pasta. I thought you were having fish tonight, Greg. Oh, okay. So you made some pasta salad to go with your fish. All right. And he says, no way. Tony says, yes way. John Williams liked the trailer. He said that was 2 years before he was born. That's way before I was born. Suzanne Morgan, proud single mother, joins us. And Sam says there is an echo. And going by the audio mixer, audio is going out. Looks like it's okay. Welcome in the homies, Bill, Rich, Darren, Greg, who's eating Sin, and Ghetto with Chris Garrett. Hello, everybody. Long Dog is joining us in chat. Whoa. Don't know how long I'm going to be here. There is no speaker about tonight.
Did you watch all of Doug today?
I did not. I left a little after 3.
I was hidden.
To go see my mom.
He hid me.
He hid you?
On his channel, yeah, his chat.
Doggone it, I wished I wouldn't have left now because I'd like to see.
That's as bad as being put in the waiting room.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll unhide you though. I mean,
yeah, he will.
What were you teasing him about today?
I said that I was gonna wait. I said I got a computer problem. I'm gonna wait to 5 minutes before you end.
Kind of like the old Gary Weisenberger, 15 minutes before the show ends, stop in and the show continues for another 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah. Now I had made plans to go down and see mom, and it was getting later in the afternoon, and I needed to get down there and get that done. And one of the people that she knows fell twice today and was taken out to the hospital. There was no update on his status while I was there. It was a good visit. We had a pleasant conversation. Watched a couple of true crime shows. He brought you back into the world at the end of the show, Mike.
I guess Doug don't know that I got more accounts than Elon Musk has money.
Sounds like someone we all know might have some competition. Long Dog said he brought you back into the world at the end of the show, Mike. Well, maybe it was Chris, but okay, we'll go with Mike. He said he would do it's part of the last few minutes of the comments. All right, so if he got rid of him and then brought him back, dragon messes up again. Sure, blame it on the dragon. Now I can only imagine because I use speech to text every now and then on my phone, and it's amazing how you'll say one word and somehow that anticipates it or hears it or corrects it to something totally different. I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah, I was using speech to text today with them weeping something. I was trying to get it to say repeat, and it kept saying something completely opposite of what I was saying.
Looks like Ski-Bed might have got his computer fixed. I'll check that out in a minute. He just sent me a couple messages. Show chat replay is there. So 7 hours or however long he went for. It says he went for 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 39 seconds. So if he started at 2 my time, he ended about 4. So I missed about an hour. I'm going to skip to the end and see if I can see Chris Garrett's name in there anywhere. Of course, if Chris didn't make a comment after he was unhidden, then it would not be seen. Yeah, I'll scan through all this later on. Good to see chats there, Warren. All right, let me get back to what I've got going on for tonight. I don't really got anything going on for tonight whatsoever. Google Translate much more accurately. Okay. Yeah, I know the iPhone sometimes just it's weird. Simple words too. It usually seems like it is not anything that's extraordinarily large or hard to pronounce or anything. Anybody got anything? Let me see what's keeping me. Let me take myself off the camera for just a second. I think he might have got his computer fixed. Maybe I don't know because his last message was success, and that's the only thing I can think that it would be. Let me see here. Oh yeah, he's up and running. Well, I don't know if he's up and running or not. He's playing Fortnite and he finished in first. Got the old #1 victory royale. Ski Man says hello. Oh, I just sent him a message. But think about what actually has to happen when you speak into the microphone. Yeah, yeah. If you think about that, it's kind of mind-boggling. Fortnite on Xbox. Okay, gotcha. Well, congratulations on the #1 victory royale. I'd probably finish in. What does it start out with? 100 players? I'd finish in 110th. I don't yawn. I need to get a yawn emoji to put in there. Yeah, I know. I know.
And my wife finally you play, you pepper my boy.
I have no clue. Didn't really play Fortnite to be serious about it. And if I finish 67th, good boy, Dougie. Good boy.
Yeah. I want to get back in the Fortnite, but I'm busy right now, you know.
Oh yeah.
With me moving out and, you know.
Wintermute's asking Ski Man to fix his computer. Oh, oops. I may have opened up a little can of worms there. Sorry. Did not mean to. It was not my intent. Yeah, I was kind of hoping Doug would be here too. Chris, you mentioned that earlier a while ago. If Ryman joins us, he'll be here after the K-State game. I do have Duke, Alabama on in the living room. And, oh, game must be over. Speaking of. It's magic. No, long dog, it's magic.
Hey, Jeff.
So your game over, Jeff?
Yeah, lost 67 to 61. They came closer than any of the other lower ranked teams to upsetting them, but just wasn't in the cards.
And now, who are they playing?
USC women.
Aren't they like the #1 ranked overall team in the tournament?
In that regional, they were the #1 team.
Okay.
And they're rated #4 in the country.
Okay. All right.
I think. Yeah, we were going to have a watch party, but the place we normally go is owned by USC alumni. So we would have been a distinct minority.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, UCLA is the #1 ranked team in the nation. They would be the #1 seed in the tournament.
We were behind 65 to 61 with like 20 seconds left, and the fouling is what caused them to get some free throws, you know.
It's about the only thing that's pretty much carried through the years of basketball. I was reading some things earlier today, and while the game has evolved, the game is still basically the same. I was reading a lot about the portal. There's one kid, he's going to get 6 years of eligibility by entering the portal. So he clearly figured out under the current rules how to make that work to his advantage.
How much is he allowed to play and then go into the total and essentially write off that year? That's my question.
That I don't know. I know it's restricted, but I don't know.
Mm.
Josh checked his ghetto checked Ski Man's power supply. Oh my goodness, I'm surprised your house is still standing.
Hey, Cam, I have a request for a trailer when we get off here.
All right. Let's be provocative. Speaking of trailers, speaking of copyright, last night's music, The Stripper, passed the initial checks. I got a notification today that the video could not be monetized because of The Stripper. So I promptly removed that and I'm getting my 3 cents back. Yes, Wintermute, it's not that, Josh. I think I'm going to go try to find some copyright-free music somewhere and put in there. I like it better when there's music in there. And I was kind of frustrated. It passes the initial. Oh, I got kicked out into the cold at 1:59. See chat. At least Ken has a waiting room. You just kicked him out into the cold. Wow, John Williams had 5,150 points at that point in time. Man, I must have really missed something. Did I get kicked out? Did he actually kick me out? I'll have to go back and look into this.
Who you speaking about, Chris or
Me? It says ran Israel at 1:59 and 12 seconds Doug's time, or 1:59 26 seconds Doug time. Ran Israel said, "See chat, please. At least Ken has a waiting room. You just kicked him out into the cold." Now he could be referring to Chris, and more than likely is referring to Chris.
Well, Chris got kicked out sort of for fun, you know.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. I would have liked to have stuck around, but I had things to do today, and if I'd have gotten up maybe earlier this morning, I could have maybe done a couple of them in the morning time. But it worked out. It all worked out. It's all.
I didn't get as much done as I wanted to today, but I got a little dab.
We had rain off and on. 73 was the high. Occasional gust of wind every now and then.
I had to go to the bank and get some money. So.
Did you get me some while you were at it?
Yeah.
Taking that as a no.
I made that guy an offer on a graphics card. I'm not sure he understood my offer, but he said yes. So we'll go figure it out in the morning.
Did you buy the 3070 or the 3090?
Oh, 3090s on eBay are going for $1,000 in some cases.
Hey, Jeff,
I want
700s.
Go ahead, Ghetto.
Hey, Jeff, I want $658 for you.
A specific dollar amount. Geez, I wonder what that could be for. So Long Dog is saying to check out punk rock. Chances are it's not copyrighted materials. Ad probably wouldn't fit with what used to be the end screen of the Dancing Girls. I will eventually find something.
Anyway, but I looked up what those things have been selling for on eBay. I mean, not the asking price. And the most recent ones ranged from $290 to $325. So the midpoint's about $305. So I offered him $305 minus half of what he would have to pay eBay. That way he gets a little more and I save a little bit of money, and that's going to be maybe $10 or whatever. But his wife texted back and said, yeah, 305, yes. And I sent her back another one, said, yes, and she said, which one do you want? And I said, I trust him to pick one of them that was new and to calculate the discount correctly. So we'll see when I go over there in the morning.
How much RAM does it have?
8.
How much?
That's all any of them had.
Oh, okay.
On the 3070s. But it gets a little better specs than the 3060, which is in my regular box. And I'm not looking to game with it. I mean, I just want something that's going to give me otherwise pretty good graphics.
Right, right.
He must have had 30 graphics cards in racks in his garage. He was doing lots of cryptocurrency mining several years ago, and he had a big cooling system as well as running the power for all these graphics cards. He was running like 30 of them at once. Special power supplies that he got secondhand out of servers that big companies are running. They would run the power supplies like 3 years and then sell them. They're writing them off after that length of time. So they got life in them and yet they sell them. So
Now,
anyway, he
there's
said
a
he made
graphics
enough.
card.
Yeah, he
Go ahead,
made
Jeff.
enough money to pay for all his equipment and a little bit besides.
Sure.
But the price of power out here has gone up so much he can't make any money now. He said you gotta make more. You gotta make enough to pay the electric bill minimum, just to break
Right.
even.
Sure. I mean,
And what a kilowatt hour out here is sneaking up on maybe 14 cents kilowatt hour. And he says a lot of the companies still doing this have moved to Texas. They've got places there where the power is 5 cents per kilowatt hour in Texas. He told me something interesting about the Bitcoin, which I did not understand. There's this algorithm that they run, and after a while, it's got to match something in a blockchain, whatever that is, after it runs for a while. But every 2 or 3 years, the algorithm automatically requires twice as much work for half as much reward.
okay.
And that's to try to hold down the total amount of the Bitcoin that's out there in the wild, so to speak.
It was my understanding that Bitcoin was going to be we're going to produce this amount, and that's done. It's finite. There's going to be no more.
Right, that's what he was saying, but that's what the algorithm does. It doubles the effort to get a Bitcoin at the same time as it halves the value of what you get. So that's whatever is in the algorithm to keep it flat, basically. This is all the Bitcoin there's ever going to be, apparently. Now, he was not
I've
doing
never understood
Bitcoin, he
that.
was doing Ethereum, which is another kind of cryptocurrency. And there's a whole bunch of them. He said if you had your own completely off the grid place and you had solar power that was already paid for, you might be able to make a little bit of money here in Nevada. But he got to the point where he wasn't making any money. And so he said he wouldn't tell me what his power bill was when he was doing this. His wife's a realtor and they're in a new house now. He's still got some of his equipment in the old house that they're renting out. But yeah, he had about 30 GPUs altogether at one point.
Did he ever disclose if he made any money?
Yes, he said he made money.
Oh, wow. I mean, actual currency ago, he could put his hands on.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened, his wife still has a little bit of it in a holding company or something, but he got rid of most of his. He said he hung on to it. Said, I always thought maybe I'd get back into it, but then he said, realistically, I can't. I would lose money.
Yeah, both my sons dabble in it, and my thought has always been, I kind of like to be able to put my hands on the currency and the money that I'm making. I don't want this virtual reality stuff.
Yeah. Right now, he was saying if you really want to dabble in it, you can buy cryptocurrency exchange traded funds on the stock market.
Really?
Yep.
It's
You can
interesting.
buy and sell it that way. But like any other, it's a commodity, so to speak. And like anything that's a commodity, you can get big fluctuations in the price.
Yeah, Ski Man just dropped in chat that solar here was going to have a steep setup install price. You couldn't afford to be. Yeah, that's the same with just about here in Indianapolis. If you want solar, it's a pricey, pricey penny to get it going, and then I don't think you really gain
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah.
Robert
Anyways,
Michael says morning.
yeah. Yeah. He had a whole bunch of EVGA 3070s that he bought used from another cryptocurrency miner. But he
Now, do
had,
they have an end of life? Does a graphics card say if you bought one new today, 10 years from now, it basically is done and over?
well, they wear out. I mean, and these things got some hard use when they were running all the time, obviously.
Right, right.
But he has a couple of MSI cards that he bought new, so they don't have as much wear on them as the old EVGA cards. And since EVGA doesn't make graphics cards anymore, I asked him to sell me one of the MSI cards he bought new so that if something happens, maybe I can get parts from MSI or something at the worst case.
Right.
But I still consider this a fairly steep price. It's not unreasonable given what people are paying for them, but
Oh, sure. Yeah, graphics cards are still kind of pricey. So Long Dog said, Ski Man, you're just not hearing the correct deal. The state pays for it or the company pays for the installation and you earn a tax credit. I think that depends on the state, and I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
well,
it's going to
and you
vary.
have to be careful. There's all kinds of ways you can get burned going solar.
Yeah.
Some of
Yeah,
them
if
come
it's
knock on your door and want to install it. We'll own it. We'll take care of it. All you do is pay us a lease for what you're getting.
right.
You sign a fixed price in the contract, and that's all you'll ever have to pay. And then there's others where you buy it outright and you own it. So you may have a loan to pay off, but you own it. And they
Right.
all say, of course, this makes your house more valuable. And I've had a realtor or two tell me that ain't necessarily so. If you want to sell your house and somebody wants solar,
Sure.
but that might help. But if you owe $20,000 on it, or 50,000 or whatever the hell you're paying, and try to sell it, then or well, what's worse is if you have a contract that whoever owns the house is going to buy the power for 20 years, you may not find somebody who wants to take over that contract.
Right. Correct.
And I don't know who it is. I heard from one neighbor about another one down the street who bought solar on one of these lease plans. And he didn't have a lawyer look at the contract. And there was a loophole in it so they can keep raising the price on him, even though he thought he had a fixed price. So it behooves you to buyer beware sort of stuff.
Right. Right. Okay.
And they knock on my door all the time, but I'm not going to do anything right now. And I think I mentioned earlier, I had a leak in the roof this year, and it was just the underlayment pulled away from a nail in one section of my roof, and water seeped through, and I got a stain on the dining room ceiling. Now I'm going to have to take care of. I had the leak fixed, and to fix the leak and replace a few broken tiles with 2 layers of good underlayment was $2,500, and that's not even like an eighth of my roof, you know. And if I were going to do solar, I wouldn't do it unless I had my whole roof redone with good underlayment so that you don't have to worry about that once the solar's up there.
Yeah. Did you happen to catch that article today on Yahoo about the town of Pawnee, Nebraska?
Yep, I did.
Did you read that?
Yep.
Did you see any problem with they're selling the house for 325 and the average home sells for 102,000? Did you not see that
Yeah, I
problem?
saw that.
That's the first thing I noticed. They're going to give you 50 grand. You're still going to have a mortgage of 250 to 275, but the median
Right.
average home sells for 102. Crazy. Absolutely
Well, I mean, of
crazy.
course, a lot of towns have a range of house prices, but it's
Sure.
it's harder to sell higher price stuff the smaller the town is, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I didn't look at the population of what it was or what it had to offer.
900?
Is it that small? Man,
I think it was 900.
yeah, not very big. Not very big. All
Now,
right, let's
like
go
when
ahead
I
and
went to high school, I looked it up, and it's like 2,100 people, county seat. And they have houses that range from like 60,000 to 400,000, same town.
man.
Now, the more expensive ones have been built, say, since the, I don't know, 1980s and coming forward.
So Long Dog, I'm confused. Do you have solar panels in your yard and you only pay a fixed bill of 154, or are you contemplating getting it? I'm not keeping up with your chat here a little bit.
Oh,
He said earlier he's got a fixed bill of, I
yeah,
thought he
it
said
sounds
one.
like he's buying it and his bill's 157 a month until it's paid off.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere
That's the way
as
I
well.
read it.
Here we go with
I
the
mean, they
weather.
always come around and say, well, you're paying a high electric bill here.
Skiman 21632. It is
Well,
currently
for me living here
67.6
by
degrees
myself,
Fahrenheit,
I am. But
19.8
since my
degrees
daughter moved out,
Celsius,
my
and partly
electric bill is
cloudy in
less than
Denton,
half of what it
Maryland.
used to be. Because
Well,
she
Long Dog
lived in the
says
hottest bedroom in the house upstairs on the hot sun side of the house and ran the air conditioning more. Plus, she wasn't careful about turning off lights and doing this and that and the other thing.
the little things, yeah.
I am. I mean, I've got 2 LED lights on in my office here right now above my desk, and that's it. And downstairs, I have 2 little LED bulbs hanging on the ceiling, just providing enough light where the dog lays on his bed, you know?
Greg Guy,
Right.
it is currently
And
75
I
degrees
turn the
Fahrenheit,
TV off when I'm not
23.9
using
degrees
it. I actually
Celsius,
shut these
and clear
computers
in
off
Great
when I'm
Mills,
not using them.
Maryland.
Yeah, there are people that say I'm kind of wasting electricity right now because I do have the game on in the
Right.
living room. I can hear it, but I can't see it. So
Where I'm wasting money is natural gas. I have a higher bill than any house equivalent to me around here. And it's because I have a recirculation loop on the water heater.
mm-hmm.
And it doesn't run all the time. It's run by a temperature sensor. When I had it running all the time, it was even higher. But there are parts of the house that you can't get hot water out of for 5 minutes if you don't have this damn recirculation loop on.
Welcome to my world.
And
Even today, it's 80 degrees outside, and it still takes 3 to 6 minutes for the hot water to get from the garage to this bathroom back here. It's crazy.
so before we had our fire, there was a recirculation loop, but it was on a timer. A 24-hour thing where it's got the little switches in and out where you can set it. You only run it at certain times. And the last owner only had it set to circulate hot water at the times when he and his wife wanted to take showers in the bathroom upstairs. The bathroom on the master suite is the farthest away from the hot water heater. And so he set it so it only ran long enough to get hot water over there. And the laundry room is near the garage where the hot water heater is and all that. So it doesn't require that stuff. I'm thinking, and I asked for one of those when we had our repairs done, and they didn't give it to me. The plumbing company was populated by people who had their heads in their nether regions.
Yeah, we're coming up on 10:30. We've been about 15 minutes of overtime, and we'll go ahead and start the end of the show. There is no audio with this tonight. There will be audio shortly. Not tonight. Shortly.
I've got breaking news.
You
What did
finished
you
dinner?
say? I said off the fact.
I make you think of Rick Lake for some reason. There is audio. Oh yeah, you know what? You are correct. Now there's no audio. I forgot to mute the audio before I started it. Yeah, the audio should be gone now. I probably will get the same thing in the morning. I don't mind getting the notification, but they're going to penalize the entire video for
Ken Stout Live said goodbye,
35-second
Ken.
section. They're going to take the money, all 3 cents. It's just me. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. We'll be ending this as soon as it's over. There's not going to be any replays or anything. I guess the chat scroll looks correct. I cleared everything last night, so that should be right.
It had my name in it.
That's all,
Redirect should go to Sam. I do believe I have that set up properly. We'll find out here shortly. And stopping the stream, we'll see if the redirect works. Thanks everyone. I'd modify. I've got 4 copies